La cucaracha, la cucaracha, da 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 da. Hi, Whiners! Happy Thirsty Thursday and Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. This episode is going to be out, I think, like 3 to 4 days after Christmas and then 3 to 4 days before New Year's. So, yeah, it's just going to be, those like Spotify wrapped, Apple wrapped things. I kind of wanted to do that for Adultish Whines, a little podcast wrapped situation. So a little solo episode. We're going to do some reflecting. We're going to do some reminiscing. We're going to be doing some drinking. Cheers. First and foremost, I need to call out the elephant in the room, which you guys probably wouldn't have seen or would never have noticed. But I was out thrifting today and a mirror, I was like digging down in this pile and this mirror that was tilted up was falling down on me, and so I went to like stop it, and my nail popped off. If you haven't had to know the pain of an acrylic nail popping off your nail and then taking like some of your nail off and like bleeding underneath and bruised, you're very lucky. Consider yourself very lucky, because it is a pain like no other. It's like not similar to, but like, you know how unique stepping on a Lego is, like how unique that pain is? That's what I equate a nail popping off to. It's just crazy. And the poor guy, so it was because the guy was like moving something around and it fell because he was messing with something. And so he was so apologetic, so upset. I'm so sorry. And at first I was like, oh no, like my nail's somewhere in this thrift pile. And then I was like, no, my nail, ow, like shit. It was bleeding. There was blood all over my bag. And then all these clothes were like on a sheet on the concrete, and there was like blood on the sheet. And he's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'll give you anything you want. I'll give you whatever you want for free. I was like, it's okay. And then I felt like I was being so dramatic. Like, I mean, I wasn't screaming or anything, but I was like holding it, because, you have to like hold something very tight when it is bleeding or throbbing. I felt like I had a heartbeat in my finger. And I was like holding it, and then he was like, oh my God, you're bleeding, and went to go get me a paper towel and came back, and he's like, I'm just so sorry. And it's like, it's okay. And I'm not like, I'm trying not to cry, but it does hurt that bad. But I'm just also trying not to be dramatic, because there's all of you men standing around here have no idea what this pain feels like. And I'm not being dramatic, and it really does hurt. Like really. And they were like, I'm so sorry. All these men were like, I'm sorry about your nail. Sorry about your nail, as I was walking away. So anyway, and I'm going out of town for Christmas, so gotta get these nails fixed. Can't be walking around like this, but they don't even have time. Like the nail place I go to, Gloss Nail Bar, is so busy with the holidays. They're like, we have time tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. I'm like, wow, what if you didn't have time tomorrow at 6:30 p.m.? Like, that's your only time? That sucks. But also, like, where else would I go to get these exact same colors? And like the design's fairly simple, but holy shit, that was a little bit scary. So that's first and foremost. Second on the list is, as you can see, it's not that I'm a Grinch this year at all, but there is no decor happening. I did buy lights to decorate the studio per Redhead Rachel, great idea, Carlson's, recommendation. She's like, you need to decorate your studio Christmas, get some lights. And I did, and I started putting them up, and they were just so annoying. They were getting caught up in the neon sign. They were getting caught up in the branches of these fake trees. Like, I was like, no, I'm not doing it. So took those down. You just get regular schmegular pea honey for the holiday. And I'm in black too. God, honestly, nothing's wrong with me. I'm fine. But I've been wearing a lot of black lately in these podcast episodes. I need to up my outfit game for the pods, I guess. Get a little bit more brighter colors in here. Just show that I'm a festive lady. I don't even have, and actually something that did bother me, and it does add to the fact that you may think I'm a Grinch, but I'm not, because I love Christmas for one of the things I love about Christmas. I wouldn't say I love Christmas, but one of the things I do enjoy about the holiday is going to pick out a real tree, going to the nursery, walking through all the mud, smelling all the pine, tying it down to the roof, getting it up. Like, I love that whole process. Decorating it, of course. And I chose not to decorate my apartment this year, and I think that was a major mistake, because I do think that would have got me a little bit more in the mood. The reason why I chose not to decorate is because I don't typically decorate, because I get a real tree. I don't typically decorate until like the second week of December, maybe even the third. And then I leave it up until New Year's and then take it down like the 1st or the 2nd. Usually the 2nd, let's be honest. I'm putting it off a little bit. But what happened was I booked a trip to California, and then I was supposed to originally be gone for Christmas Eve through New Year's. And then, as you know, I've talked ad nauseum about my chin surgery, which is the 4th. So I felt like it would be very annoying to put up a tree for the Christmas that I wasn't going to be here for, then be out of town that whole week with like a flammable tree in this apartment. God knows what's going to happen. And then only have one day to take it down in between like getting home and then my surgery. And I just felt like it was going to be too clusterfuck. And I certainly can't, like, I would have been so over the tree. I wouldn't have wanted the tree and to clean it. And I have housekeepers coming. Oh my God, is everything okay? I have housekeepers coming the 2nd as well. So it's just like, it was too much, I feel like. And I'm just like one gal, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just one person. Like, if I had like a family or a roommate, like maybe I would have done something different and put some of that on them. But anyway, so it's a little bah humbug around here. Like, it's just like same shit, different day. But that's why I actually am really looking forward to Christmas with my sisters and my niece and my nephew. And again, I know this is going to be after Christmas for you guys, but my plan is to just lay on the couch in my jammies, in my sweats, probably eat a couple bagels. I love bagels. Hopefully some lox on there, some cinnamon rolls, some mimosas, some pomosas, some Bloody Marys, some takeout food, really craving Chinese lately, play Nintendo. That's kind of what we do. We don't really get out of our pajamas on Christmas Day. So I'm actually like really looking forward to that. So, I mean, I'll update you in a January episode and tell you how that went. If there was any dramas. I'm sure there won't be. But yeah, so hope y'all had a good Christmas. Hopefully there wasn't too much drama on y'all's end. I know that it can be tough with, family members or friends that are no longer with us. And that's a little tough and sad to think about. And yeah, just times are tough lately. So I hope that you had a good one and you felt that you got some good quality time with the people that you love and that support you. And then going into New Year's, right, baby? So the whole idea of like the podcast wrapped idea is like looking back at the year 2023, right? I feel like I've had some major personal growth. I feel like I've had some major podcast growth. So wanted to just kind of go over some of those things. And there's some things that I learned like new, but also some things that have just been like refreshed in my head. Like, oh yeah, that matters. So the first thing that I wanted to highlight is, I think, and honestly, like right in the nick of time, like I'm not bringing this into 2024. And you're probably wondering what this is. I just learned the hard way that you need to trust your gut, not your heart. Yes, ma'am. I feel that I have such a big heart and I want so badly, like my heart wants so badly to look for the good in every single human on this earth. And that's just not the reality. And again, I'm not trying to be bah humbug. It's actually like a good realization, but I do just feel like I've had a few instances in actually that I have trusted my gut, not my heart, like business decisions, personal decisions, work decisions, podcast decisions. I've seen that through and those things have panned out to be right. And I just kind of recently trusted my heart on something and it was the wrong way to go. And I really wish, and my gut the whole time was saying, this is not good. I don't feel emotionally safe. I don't feel good. I don't feel healthy. I don't feel good about this. And it's just a good reminder that that's right. You need to trust your gut, not your heart. Your heart has wings. You know what I mean? Your heart is flitty and fluttery and happy, and your gut's like, bitch, come down to earth, think about it a little bit more, you know what I mean? So that is one thing that I do want to bring into 2024. I want to bring in trusting my gut, not my heart. And I do feel like for the most part in 2023, I did a good job with that, especially with business and podcast decisions. The other thing that I feel like I've mastered, okay, not mastered, like there's room to grow for everything for sure, but patience over perfection. I have never been a very patient girl. And in the way of like, if I'm not patient, I'm going to get over it and I'm going to move on, or I'm going to quit. Or if it's not going the exact right way, I'm going to stop doing it, AKA quit. Or if something's not going right, I'm going to get frustrated and then get down on myself, and then making it harder for me to complete said task because now I'm in my head and being mean to myself and all this blah, blah, blah. So I really do think that I've done a phenomenal job at getting better at being patient with humans, with technology. That has been a huge learning curve, and I'm still very much so learning there, but I now understand that it's okay. It's going to take some time. Not everything is going to be perfect. Just like to give you a really silly example, I was looking back at some of the episodes and just like on YouTube, and I was like, ew, gross. What was I doing over that white wall? Like I hated that. I loved that setup. But looking back, I'm like, ew, God, what was I doing? That was not good. And then when I moved over here, before I brought these plants in, I was like, that is so cute. But I knew something was missing. And it's like I needed props or plants or something on the side. I know this is really small, guys, but I do think it's like a lot of people can relate to this just like in their home lives and whatnot. But like, I knew that something was missing, but what am I going to do? Stop the podcast show stop recording until I decide if I want plants or props or shelves or whatnot? Like, I just feel like I did a good job at accepting that I was just going to be growing and people are going to grow with me, or they're not going to grow with me. And if somebody doesn't want to grow with me because of plants or props, like, first of all, that's just not realistic, but I don't need to be perfect. And that's just, I don't even need to pretend to be perfect. Nothing needs to be at 100% before I put it out to the world. And I feel like that's in a lot of ways where I have bonded with a lot of you whiners in that. So loving that for myself. Next is consistency wins. I've talked a lot about how when things get hard, I quit. And I think that being consistent with the podcast, being consistent with being true to myself and loving the things that I do so much. Like, you are the people you surround yourself with. You are like every day. Don't get me wrong. The podcast is so much work, but I love it. I love knowing that I'm going to be working on the podcast these days after my regular job. I already have something scheduled. I can't go out for drinks. I can't go out for happy hour. Like, it doesn't feel like it's a task to me. And so it's just felt very consistent in my life. It just feels like part of me now. And I've really come to love that. I was actually thinking after LP's episode from The Poor Horseman that was out, I think last week. And I was thinking back to that where he was like, you're going to succeed as long as you don't quit. And I was thinking as I was like kind of writing notes, basically what I do before I do any episode, whether it's a guest or personal, I kind of do like a free writing journal exercise. Like, it's just what I call it. It's not official, but I just start like writing things that have happened in my life or things that I like think are interesting or want to talk about. But I was thinking about that. I was like, what if I just quit? Like, what if I did? I don't want to, but I was like, what would I do with my time? I feel like this is my purpose. Like, I just don't even know what I would do if I wasn't spending 30 hours a week on this podcast. Like, I already squeeze workouts in. I guess I would be working out more, which I could be more consistent about. There's a little wink, wink, nod, nod there. What else would I be doing? Like, maybe I'd be going on more dates, or maybe I'd honestly just be like spending money and just probably doing a lot of things that aren't like productive for me. I'd be watching a lot more TV, a lot more series, reality shows, movies, which is something I used to spend a lot of my time doing. And so I think that being consistent with this podcast and being consistent with my real job, and I had a great year there, by the way, like it's a really good feeling. Like, I just feel very stable mentally, physically, and it all feels right in my gut. Like, I don't feel wrong at all in my gut about what I'm doing. So yeah, sometimes I miss a couple things, or I'm traveling, or I'm networking, or I double book myself. But as long as I stay on the course, which I think I have been doing for quite a few months, and it just feels very natural to me, being consistent, I think I'm winning there. Another big thing that has always been hard for me, even up until this year, as a 33-year-old adult woman, it has always been hard for me to ask for help or to accept help. And I'm going to give myself a pat on the back for this because I've grown a lot there. It still feels very much a work in progress, but that is something that I want to bring into 2024 is just that openness. There have been a few things recently, like in the past few months, where somebody has done something so nice for me. I didn't ask for it. And like not a gift, like it was just something like, I don't know, is it an act of service? And it brought me to the ground. It was so touching and emotional. And it just was like, wow, that felt really good for somebody to know that I needed something and they did it. And then I didn't throw a fit about someone doing nice things for me, because that is something I have been known to do. I've said this before. I'll say it again. I'm not an easy person to do nice things for. I'm not an easy person to gift in any way. Even like what I think I talked about this on the pod like a couple months ago. I was having a really bad anxiety day, or maybe depression. I don't even know what to call it. And I ended up calling my sister Megan, or she called me, I'm not sure, but she stayed on the phone with me for hours and she was forcing me and distracting me at the same time, like giving me that tough love, like to do the things I needed to do. I needed to do laundry. I needed to do the dishes. I needed to, prep for the podcast in some way. I can't remember. And I remember going to my therapist that following week and kind of telling her how I worked through that time. And she's like, what got you through that? And I said, my sister really, I don't know what I would have done like that day if it wasn't for my sister, and then I would have fallen behind in other ways and stuff like that. And she's like, that's a form of help. And I was like, yeah. And I loved it. So it's been really nice realizing that part of me, is it the softer side of me? I don't know. Accepting help and being like, not that I've never been unappreciative of it, but it always makes me uncomfortable and I fight it. And so being open to the love that somebody else wants to give me in whatever form that is, I have realized that I am deserving of that and I want to accept it. So I want to bring that more into 2024 as well. Like I just want to keep doing that, and it just feels really good. In 2023, I feel like a big lesson I learned was that nothing is permanent, good or bad. Friendships, relationships, people's actions, feelings, good feelings, bad feelings, scared feelings, which I guess it's good that those things are not permanent. But I think that was, and I think there's still some growing pains there for sure. But I have definitely realized that nothing lasts forever. Interesting with my life history that I didn't like pick up on that sooner, or I didn't like accept that sooner, but I've certainly accepted it now. But on that same token, because nothing is permanent, things do come back around. And I do think that as long as you continue to be your genuine self and make yourself proud, follow your gut, then the right thing is going to fall into place. Not necessarily fall into place, but like it's going to work out in some way. Because even if you're down for the count, like I just mentioned that time a couple months ago where I was having really bad anxiety, like that feeling was not permanent. And honestly, haven't had that feeling since. Thank God, praise Jesus. Now, is it going to come back around? Maybe. Hopefully I'm a little bit better prepared for it this time. And now I know that something that really made me feel good and comfortable, I have like an outlet that I can go to or try other outlets. But even in friendships and relationships, nothing is permanent, I took a couple risks in 2023 as far as dating goes. And one of my friends reminded me, I said, I'm proud of myself for taking a risk. And she said, I'm proud of you too. She said, because you could be in a relationship for 10 or 15 years and still get hurt. So why not take a risk now? And that was something so scary for me to do, because I used to have this attitude of like, you're not gonna get one on me. I'm not the idiot. You won't make me look like an idiot. I just won't ever let anyone know that I was ever into you, or won't ever let you know I was into you, or I'm not gonna try again, like that kind of thing. I guess because I was scared of looking stupid or something. And I'm glad I did take the risks that I did in podcast world, in life, dating, because I think that it's going to help shape me into an even better version of P. So that's that on that. Kind of going along with consistency, I feel like hard work pays off. And you can't have these expectations of immediate wins. This is something that I've known, and I think I was fine with that in 2023. And I want to, again, keep that running into 2024. I think I'm pretty solid on that. But I've had some like amazing guests on who have talked about you can't expect other people to work harder or to be more dedicated than you are for yourself. And that was a good reminder. I know LP said this in the last episode too. He's like, you're going to make it. And it's like, I actually don't have any doubts that I'm going to, whatever making it is. I mean, I don't know, making more money or reaching more people or whatever that means. I guess I should narrow down on that. But I don't have doubts I don't have expectations because I just want it to be very natural. I want it to be very myself. I don't want to pressure the situation at all. I just want it to feel good. This is what Adultish Whines is just bringing people together from different backgrounds, different lives, different traumas, different things that have made them who they are today, and sharing stories and relating with other people, and not tearing other people down. And obviously there's a lot of humor and a lot of laughing that goes into it. But that's what my goal was, even season 1, when I started this with Carolyn, that's what my goal was. And then we kind of like the vision got a little bit skewed. But when I came back for season 2 and season 3, like I just want to connect people to people and just enjoy life. And the fact that I think I'm going off on a tangent here, but the fact that I get to meet so many cool new people, that people feel comfortable enough to come into my studio and tell me their stories and laugh about it or cry about it or vent or ask questions or learn means so much to me. So I think hard work pays off. That's what I want to continue doing, and it will pay off. And along with hard work pays off, like I can do hard things. You can do hard things. You can bite off a little bit more than you can chew, and you can still follow through. Oh my God, I'm a poet and I don't even know it. But yeah, you can do hard things. You can have a big idea and step up to the plate and try it. And if it doesn't work out, take a beat, follow your gut, reassess, and try again. You know what I learned is not for me. This is like the one that I learned that is really not for me. And I'm so happy to be talking about it because now that I've talked about it, I can just leave it behind. It is that for a little while, I tried to be like chill girly, like as far as dating goes, like just like chill girly. I'm just going to be like passive. Like I'm just unbothered. And I've tried it a few different times and it's just not fucking me. It's just not me. And it doesn't like follow my gut, not my heart. Like it does not make my gut feel good. It makes my gut feel very bubbly and wrong. You know what I mean? Feels like nervous, feels like anxiety, feels like you're doing the wrong thing, girlfriend. Maybe that's because of the people that I've dealt with, or not. Maybe that's a life thing. I'm not sure. But like recently even. So I actually was going to film this episode maybe, I don't know, 2-ish, 3 weeks ago because I just had like a couple free days in my week. And I was like, oh, I should do that Christmas, New Year's Eve episode. It's still going to be released the same time, but I should just, do it. And I could not wrap my head around what I wanted to talk about. It was very weird because I've had such a good string of successful like solo episodes and guest episodes that why could I not put pen to paper, like I said, in like a free writing or journal exercise and list or talk about the things that 2023 brought me? And now that I'm outside of it, those 3 weeks ago, I'm looking back it was because my gut, I was in a, how do I say this? Like, I was not in a good situation. I was in a very wavy, like, I was still great. Like, by the way, like, everything was really good. Positive, blah, 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 blah. I was being, still getting ready for work every day, like, still doing those things that make me feel good. I've made my bed every day for the past few months. Like, all these things, all things were going well, but I wasn't confident in the situation that I was putting myself in, which I think made me feel not confident in myself and what I wanted to talk about. It was very weird. And I was talking to one of my sisters about it. And she's like, what's wrong? And I was like, I just can't, for some reason, I have a mental block around, I can't think of what I want to talk about. Like, and she's like, well, you did this, you did that, you did that. I'm like, I know, but it just doesn't sound right to me. And by the way, those things that she said and that I knew I wanted to talk about, that's what I'm talking about here today. But it's like, I wasn't in a confident place in my head because I knew I was doing something that made me feel like shit. I was being passive. Now, listen, I can be passive aggressive, and that is something I should probably leave behind in 2023 as well. But like, that's just a part of me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can be a little passive aggressive. I'm talking about being passive. I'm talking about letting things slide, letting people treat you a certain way, and being okay with it, like more than okay with it. Like, oh, like kind of making excuses for that person's behavior or like accommodating that behavior and just being like, yeah, I love being shit on. I love being shit on. Please shit on me more. Love that for me. I think that that's kind of why I was having a little bit of a mental block. I wasn't confident in what was happening in my life. So why was I confident in what I wanted to put out to the world? And that's a good little reality check for me. And so again, no feeling is permanent. It's gone. It's washed away. A learning experience. And here I am. When I sat down to write down, I was feeling confident. I was feeling so confident. Went to write down what I wanted to talk to you guys about. Took the normal amount of time that it took. I didn't freak out. I didn't have any issues. And here we are, just going on with life. So it's just a good reminder. Back to that first one. I'm telling you, I know I'm running it into the ground, but that's what I'm going to say. That's going to be like, with New Year's, people are like, have New Year's resolutions and intentions and words that people do. Like, I just want to continue to trust my gut. I want to continue to be patient. I want to continue to be intentional. I want to continue to be healthy. Oh, that's interesting. I said continue on all of those. I guess there's nothing new. Like, what's a resolution? I don't know. I don't really think I need a resolution. I'm just going to keep on doing what I'm doing. Keep on staying consistent, staying passionate, doing things that I love, which is talking to y'all. Yeah, so those are the kind of things that I've learned or improved on or recognized about myself. So I hope you take some time to kind of think about those things for yourself too, because actually, you know what's so crazy is I was telling my friend, because of that situation I was just telling you about where I was being shat on a little bit, I was like, I just need to cry. I've been trying to cry for a couple of weeks. Like, maybe I'll cry. Maybe I'll cry. This was like on a Monday. I was talking to her. I was like, maybe I'll cry on Wednesday. She's like, are you scheduling your cries? I was like, well, I'm going to schedule a cry because I just can't quite get out a cry. Like, typically I'm such a crier. Like, I can just cry over anything. And for some reason, I just am not able to cry right now about myself or about things happening to me. Now, if it's a TV show or something happening to one of my friends, you better believe I'm crying. But lately, I haven't really been able to cry about anything for myself, which is good, bad. I don't know. Emotional. Even in therapy, I'll sit there and she's like, let it out. I'm like, it's not coming. I got nothing. I got no tears. So that's kind of weird because everyone who knows me would classify me as an easy crier. But where I was going with that is, as I was doing my free writing exercise in preparation for this episode, I started to cry. Happy tears, good tears, like confident, excited, fulfilled tears, like happy little moments, listing things out that I've learned or continue to learn and picked up on, or things that I want to leave behind. So cheers to us. Cheers to you. Cheers to me. Cheers to us. Okay. And then obviously, as far as the podcast growth comes, like that was all a lot about me personally, which does have to do with podcasts, but obviously just want to like touch on my baby, the podcast, Adultish Whines. Just want to like touch on the Whiners, who I love so much. 2023 was a big year for Adultish Whines. We transitioned from my kitchen island at my first apartment here in Houston. I had a vision in my head to get a studio, which, like, looking back, whoa. Whoa, what an idea. I can't believe I followed through with that. That is so cool that I did that. I just kind of didn't think I would. You know, I don't know, but I did. Oh my God, we're here. So got a 2-bedroom apartment, made a studio in my apartment, and we're here. We are here filming a podcast with like real podcast equipment. We've got lights, we've got mics, we've got camera, we've got action. We've got it all. We've got a life-size calendar who everyone makes fun of, but it's good for me. It's just crazy to think about. It's so exciting. So I know that a lot of podcasters out there, like, or at least the podcasts that I listen to, like, I guess a lot of the ones I listen to, they were already somebody. Like, maybe they're already an influencer, already a singer, or musician, or something like that. And so they are not taking you through like the whole starting process. But I think that would be very weird if I just acted like I was just like a professional podcaster and who, like, here we are at my studio and like this just came together so easy and like we're never doing mic checks. Like, I don't know, that just seems, it just doesn't seem like real life for me. So I love taking you guys along for the journey, and thank you so much for all the support, whether it's been comments, whether it's been DMs, reviews on the podcast, phone calls, like cackling about the episode that you're listening to on your way somewhere, the love, I think I said support, but it just really means so much to me, and I just love doing this, and I just, in my wildest dreams, I just didn't ever think that I would be, like, I had no idea I wanted to do this. When I was costuming and working for the studios, I would always, like, people would say, like, oh, you should get in front of the camera or stuff like that, and I would be like, oh no, I'm behind the cameras. I'm a behind the camera girly, you know? And here I am in front of the camera. So I don't know. It's been really, it's just been kind of like a live journal that I've been doing with all of you with me. And I hope that you guys all feel the support coming from me to you as well. And I just hope that as we grow, that we grow together, and that we always have, you know, people who have been around since season 1 and even, you know, season 2 with the rebrand, like, we just stay together, because you're what makes Adultish Whines. I mean, the technology, obviously I have to give a huge shout out to a few people. Cinco, who came in, let's see, season 3, I did 2 episodes on my own before Cinco came in, and I was scared to death of the new equipment, the new software that I decided to use, and I didn't know how to ask people for help. I didn't know what I was doing, and Cinco came in and offered his assistance, and that was hard for me to accept and take, and he helped me create the quality audio and the quality video content that I have, and to be able to share it with you all on social media and on YouTube and on the Spotify and all that. So, and honestly, like, saved me mentally. Like, there was 6 weeks there where I was setting up for the studio and like trying test after test by myself and freaking out, and to have him and just his like low key confidence come in and help me, and just, it was just, he wasn't acting like it's no big deal, but he was just like, no, like, we'll figure it out. We got this. It was a priceless experience. So huge thank you to Cinco. Also JC from Journey Fit Gym. I started going to the gym after I was sexually assaulted, and obviously that saved me. I needed something to like do. I needed to plant my feet. I needed to feel strong and good and concrete, and he has helped me do that. But also through him, I've met so many cool people through the Nightcap. He's the one who introduced me to Carolina from the Nightcap. The Nightcap is so amazing. Everyone there is so lovely and just not out for themselves and down to help a girl. Jake from the Nightcap obviously has been great. I've talked about him a couple times. All of the networking and the people that I've met from the Nightcap have been a lot of the guests on here. So I talk a lot about like, oh, it's on me. I'm doing it on my own, which obviously here I am doing it on my own. I started this on my own with the camera. I press play, da-da-da. But it really has been thanks to a lot of different people. And I never want to pretend like those people have not meant the world to me. So thank you very much. Maybe I know I didn't even cry, but maybe that was a little cry I needed. Okay, so the rebranding for season 2 and into season 3 for the pod. The words on my podcast cover. Also shout out to Evan and Christine DeHaven, who helped me with obviously the artwork and the Shopify and the Printful and the merch and all that. And my sisters, I mean, what am I giving an award speech? Stop me now. This is ridiculous. But I just wanted thank you to everyone who's ever helped me and answered a stupid question for me. I appreciate you. I love you. Goodbye. Okay. So anyway, the words on the back of my podcast or in the back of my face on the podcast cover are boundaries, mental health, dating, sex, trauma, family, friends, growth, learning, hard decisions, I think. And what I wanted to do in season 3, I remember mentioning it in the very first episode, I wanted to make it really guest heavy. And I have loved everything about having guests on. I did hear some feedback that like people want more solo episodes. So I'm going to be doing hopefully 1 solo episode a month going forward. If not, some months, maybe 2. It just depends on like how much fun if I'm doing anything fun. Like if I'm not doing anything fun or nothing to update you guys, you don't want to hear me talk, you want to hear somebody else talk. But anyway, I wanted to highlight some of the amazing guests that I've had on. And I didn't plan, like I don't look for a guest and be like, I'm going to talk to this guest about boundaries or I'm going to talk to this guest about family. But in preparing for this episode, I wrote down those words and I was like, okay, let's see if we've touched on all of these words that I felt like define Adultish Whines. So anyway, I just loved that we actually truly touched on all those subjects subconsciously. We had Brittany Crossan on, who's the social media guru. We talked a lot about boundaries and family boundaries, social media boundaries with her kids. We had Miriam on, boundaries with relationship, boundaries with work. Oh, we had Simran, the naked gal, and Israel on talking about growth, whether that was personal growth or business. We had Christina Artema from Chatty Mouse, and Miriam also talked about some hard decisions that we've had to make. We've talked about dating with, maybe I've talked about dating with every single one of my guests. I feel like I do make every single episode a little bit about me, which I think as a host, I'm supposed to make it all about the other person. But like, what fun would that be? You know what I mean? Like, let's talk, let's converse. But yeah, dating. Obviously, we had Dr. Viviana. Hello, that was so fun. We talked about dating, but also like dating your partner, like being in a relationship. Of course, I've talked about a lot about dating with Phil. Talked about dating with Rachel Redhead Gradadio Carlson. We've done a lot of learning. We had Kay on, who's the whiskey. Oh gosh, what do you call her? Oh gosh, I forget her title. But something that I really learned about her was like, yeah, service. Like people look down on service jobs, and we should fucking not. Like honestly, I was pepped up by that episode. So we had Kay on. Of course, we had Cinco on talking about dating. We had Cinco on talking about learning. I feel like he learned a lot this season from me, even off the air. Things that we would talk about, we would learn from each other. So Cinco and I did a lot of learning. Of course, me, I'm open book. So we've talked about sex, of course, friends and family. I think with every single guest, I think we've probably talked about friends and family. So I just thought that was pretty cool. Like I don't plan, and honestly too, like by the way, I don't give people necessarily talking points when they come on. Okay, and just like that, we had a little bit of a learning learning curve. The camera overheated, which it's done before, not in a while. But I have to go look into that. I had too many things plugged in, I guess, but here we are back to work. Basically, overall, God, the amazing guests that I've had on: Phil, Yvette, Brittany, Simran, Christina, Great Idea Redhead Rachel Carlson, David, my friend and physical therapist, AD Hodge, Kay, Dr. Viviana, Miriam, Israel, my personal trainer Jared /JC, LP, My friend Rachel Campbell, who came on and talked to us about the strikes, Lucy from Wolash, Carolina, of course, Carolina, good God. I've just had I've had the chance to meet so many amazing people, and through me and through the podcast, obviously, I hope you guys have felt connected to those people and have enjoyed having them on. And going forward, I just want to continue to kind of do the same thing. I will bring the solo episodes back. Hello, I'm doing one right now. But yeah, it's been a great little year. 2023 was not bad to me. My friends always make this joke and they're like, it's going to be year, Pete. I think with like New Year's and then my birthday is a couple weeks into it, which I have no idea what I'm going to be doing for my birthday. But they're always like, it's year, Pete. Like, you've had enough go on bad. Like, it's year. And I really like rebuked. Oh my God. Is it rebuked? I think it's rebuke. I rebuked. I did not want what those people were giving me. I did not want it to be my year. And so I just never accepted that. And of course I do want to have a great year, and with just like no pressure. And I feel exactly that's what we did. I feel like we had an amazing year. Yay! So that's kind of it. That's the 2023 wrapped. I wanted to say, like, I feel like I've said so many things a million times. So let's wrap up everything I've said a million times. Like and ums, okay? The likes and the ums, let's leave those in 2023. Should I get vocal lessons, speech lessons? I say 100% all the time. I say totally. I obviously know. I say nobody likes a bragger. Always be a gentleman. I am singing all the time. If I could, I wish there was a tool where I could go back and count from episode 33 until now how many times I've said like, always, nobody likes a bragger, chin alert, chin surgery. Like I'm sometimes I'm just like a Jack in the Box. I'm just like, oh, on repeat. Is that what a Jack in the Box does? What am I trying to say? You know what I'm trying to say. I also say, you know what I'm trying to say a lot. So I need to make a shirt with, oh, that's a cute idea. I need to make a shirt with every single ridiculous saying that we say on Adultish Whines. But honestly, like, in conclusion, we've laughed, we've learned, we've cried together, we've supported each other, we've been there for each other. I just feel so #blessed to be able to do this every week, to be consistent, trust my gut, have great people on, and I'm really proud of what we've been able to do together with your support. So thank you very much. Oh my God, I thanked everyone except for the fucking Whiners. Like, what? Every text message that you guys sent. No, I did thank the Whiners. Okay, but for real, every single time you say send me a text message or a DM or a voicemail or like comment or review, you don't know how much that means to me. So thank you so much for being on this ride with me. For the new year, I think less resolutions, more like just positive ideas, like just jot down some ideas. I don't know. I just think that we put so much pressure on ourselves with resolutions. Like, I asked people a while ago, like crazy Christmas gifts and crazy resolutions that like we never do. And it's like, I tell myself that I want to learn how to cook. I tell myself that I'm going to learn how to speak Spanish. I tell myself that I'm going to work out every single day. And it's like, we need to stop putting so much pressure on ourselves, right? Like, to do something for sure every single day or by this time. Like, of course we need a guideline. Of course we need goals, but I just feel like be a little bit looser about it. Like, for me, all those things that I mentioned, I just want to continue to do those things. And yeah, I mean, have goals, but I just think take the New Year's resolution out of it. Because I think it puts a little bit of I don't know, maybe it works for some people, actually. It obviously does. But if they don't work for you, don't feel pressured to subscribe to the resolution idea. Like, just go about your business, be healthy, or like choose what you want to do. Or if you want to work out, don't make it like, I have to work out every single day, because then you're going to be disappointed when you miss a day. Make a lower goal, and that way you're going to be impressed and surprised and pleased with yourself when you complete it or when you surpass it. So that's my 2 cents. Making sure there wasn't anything else I wanted to say. besides the one of the week, I think that was it. I hope I'm not forgetting anything. It's stressful. Feels like the end of the year, like, did I get it all out? Okay, I think I'm good. But what I do want to end with is a wine of the week, per usual. The wine of the week this week is being shamed for second chances. Shaming yourself for giving someone a second chance, which I did just do this to myself, but I've quickly turned it around to a positive. I gave a situation a second chance, and I knew the whole time it didn't feel right. And I was saying to myself, I'm going to be the asshole when this doesn't work. I'm going to be the idiot when this doesn't work. Shame on me. First, what is it? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. I kept, those were like my mantras in the situation. So unhealthy. Because then I got shat on and I was like, I'm the idiot. I'm the fucking idiot. Da 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 da. But guess what? And I saw, it was a girl that made a TikTok on the very day that I got shit on. It was literally, I was on Instagram and it said 43 minutes ago, this girl posted this reel. I think her name's Kayla Michelle Fisher. I don't know if that's her exact @ but she made a reel and she's like, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on you too. I'm not going to apologize for being a nice, genuine, good-hearted person and giving someone a second chance. That's not a shameful act. And I needed to hear that at the exact time that she posted it. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm not the idiot here. I mean, and maybe you aren't either. Like, I don't really want to speak highly of you because I think you're a fucking dick. But I am not going to shame myself for being a good person or believing in people or having the idea that somebody could change. That's ludicrous. To shame yourself for being positive, for having a positive outlook. What I am going to do is I'm going to learn from the situation. I'm not going to hold anyone else to this person's actions either. Like, I'm not going to make, one of my friends was like, well, that's what we do. That's what happens when we give someone second chances. And at first I was like, yeah, sure is. And then I was like, no, I'm not going to hold everyone else to this dick's standards. Like, they fucked up. That doesn't go on somebody else. I'm not going to hold somebody else to what that person did that pissed me off. But I am going to learn that my gut was right the whole time. And am I an idiot for not listening to my gut? No. But now I know the feeling that I don't want to feel when something should be right. If my gut is saying it's wrong, from day one, second chance, it felt wrong. But anyway, so that's my one of the week. Giving someone a second chance is not a shame on yourself. It's a shame on them still. So we're going to end it with that. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. I can't wait for 2024. I don't think anything like crazy and new is going to happen, but I'm just excited I just think it's such a blessing to continue to be here on this earth, even though it's a dumpster fire. Like, every day, nothing is permanent, like the good, the bad. We just need to continue on, try to be the best humans possible, and just be happy and healthy and feel our feelings. And if we're not feeling happy or healthy, it's okay, but just know that that feeling isn't permanent. And I think we're all going to go get the next year. Thank you for an amazing 2023. I can't wait for 2024. Can't wait to continue to connect with you guys and to connect with guests on the show. Yeah, we'll just keep on keeping on. That's my little saying for 2024. I'm just going to keep on keeping on. So love you, Whiners, and I'll see you next year. Not next week. I'll see you next year. Happy 2024. Love you guys. Bye.